If they can keep that team together, of course, which is important as well. Overall, Glenn, another triumph for Allegri.
Yeah, of course, and I think he's been shrewd. He switched into that back three in his league right up until the first leg. It was a back four, back three, and I think he's got to keep that for the final. If it's Real Madrid, definitely keep that back three. But we talk about the defence, but how they get out, I think the wing backs have got. We've got to say about it. Dani Alves has been outstanding in 2 legs, and Santos on the other side is fantastic. So. Great system working for them, and for me, I quite fancy them. Whoever it's Atletico or Real Madrid, I fancy that they could win this.
Okay, we'll find out tomorrow. Juventus will be in Cardiff, of course, on June the 3rd, but who will join them? Tomorrow night we're in the Vicente Calderon for the last European night as Atletico try to overturn that 3-goal deficit with their city rivals Real Madrid. We start from 7 o'clock on BT Sport 2. On Thursday, Manchester United continue their quest for a Champions League place via the Europa League. They host Celta Vigo at Old Trafford. That starts from 7:30 on BT Sport 2. At 8, Ajax go to Lyon with a commanding 4-1 lead in the other semi-final. That's available too on BT Sport 3. But tonight it's been about Juventus. The old lady triumphs again. Goals from Mandzukic and a spectacular effort from Dani Alves providing the goals for Juve tonight. They're through to the final. A glorious night for Juventus. They're through to the final for the second time in 3 years, where they'll face one of the Madrid clubs, most likely Real, who hold a 3-goal advantage. And they've been so solid this season, haven't they? Right the way through.
Yeah, they've been a class act. They've been a joy to watch. I think when you watch them, you see the pattern of the way they play so clearly. Everybody knows their job to a man. They look like a well-oiled machine, coached fantastically well by this manager, Allegri. And I think that it's going to be a difficult game, whoever they get in the final, most likely Real Madrid, as you said before. But this team, the experience that they possess, I keep saying the same thing, but experience at this level, at this stage of a tournament, counts for so much. A lot of them have been in this position before. A lot of them have won titles domestically. So that'll be great for them and stand them in good stead. But they're coming up probably against a Real Madrid team with likewise same experience.
And for so many of the players, it'll be their last go, really, because there's always a fine line, isn't there, between having lots of experience and perhaps a little bit too much experience when the legs start to go.
Yeah, you're right, but still, as Rio said, experience is very important at this stage of the Champions League. And we can see by the goal they scored today as well, especially Dani Alves. He always crosses with intent. He knows where he wants to put the ball. Crosses or shooting, and the goal he scores is unbelievable. And all the players around him, we were talking about Mandzukic, and I want to know what position he's playing, because he's all around the left flank, defending, midfield, attacking. He's all over the place, and it shows that he's committed to the cause of the team, winning the league or the Champions League, everything.
Which speaks volumes to the coach, doesn't he? He's getting, he's getting players to play out of position, different areas.
Yeah, I think also, Gary, when you look at them defensively, they're really disciplined and quite rigid. Yeah. But then when they've got the ball, they're free-flowing. They look like a free-flowing team. And to get that balance, a coach to get that balance, is extremely hard. So the players can enjoy, if it was defend, but they're allowed to go and play as well, and he's playing the right people in the right spot. And Mandzukic, as you say, is amazing. To play out on that left-hand side, but he arrives in the penalty area, faced up, facing the goal.
Perfectly demonstrated in the first Juve goal, which came from a Monaco corner. Mandzukic gets his head on it.
He's the penalty box, doing nothing at the moment. He's resting, but it's all about knowing when to go to the box of the opposition. It's the position. It's all about the position, and of course the great cross of Dani Alves.
But this is so like different to many Italian teams over the years that we used to watch. Yeah. Great defensively, but quite boring and as Glenn said, rigid on the attack. But here he goes in, and once it goes to Alves, he sprints. That's when he makes his move, because he knows that Alves has the quality to pick people out for a distance.
What a ball! Watch his right foot now, Alves. Look, after he's played it, the little bit of swaz he puts on it. Watch, boom! It's like beautiful.
He wanna cross it there. He wanna pull it in his head.
On a tee.
No, but that's what it used to be like when I used to get the ball. You used to make runs, didn't you? Because you knew that I'd play the ball.
Did you ever get the ball?
All the time.
No, but Fergie wouldn't let you go to.
But that's what it's like, though. The best players get on the ball, and the strikers, they know when to run. There's certain players that get on the ball, and strikers don't make runs because they know I'm not going to get the ball. They won't waste the energy.
Exactly.
And also, when you've got good players like that, you earn space for them. With the way they play and the way they pass, make triangles, you earn somebody who's got quality with a bit of time and space, and they'll hurt you. Some players don't know how to play in time and space. They're not good enough. But these players, wow, they'll just pick out the right pass at the right time. That's the difference from them and Monaco.
Yeah, okay. Well, there's a couple of you there. I'll perhaps include you as well, Rio, but technically gifted footballers, but an appreciation of what Dani Alves did there with the strike and the volley and the difficult nature of it.
It is, and sorry, we were speaking about, what do you say, Scorsese?
Yeah.
Scorsese used to do it. It's the same, look at that.
This is a right back, man.
Exactly, it's right back with the technique of a striker, if you want.
But he is a Brazilian right back.
Yeah, he is Brazilian, yeah. But, I mean, even Subasic didn't expect that he's going to hit it like this, I'm sure.
Perfect shape. His left arm comes out to balance himself, and he's not moving. He's actually not moving that much, and fabulous technique. He enjoyed that, didn't he?
He's just an all-round brilliant footballer. He can receive the ball anywhere on the pitch with confidence, with his back to play, facing the game, and he's got the confidence to take the ball in his stride and beat people with passes or with individual brilliance. And he is, definitely for me the best right back in the world at the moment. Still,
Juve went 11.5 hours without conceding a goal in the tournament. In the end, it fell to Mbappe, youngster with bags of talent. He's the youngest player ever to score in a semi-final of a Champions League. He's got a massive future, Dimitar.
Yes, and as Rio pointed out when he scored a goal, look at the movement. Look at the movement. As a defender, probably you're going to say, Rio, it's difficult to defend against this kind of movement. You need to try to anticipate the movement of the striker, but it's difficult because
when the winger's got time on the ball like that to play, it's difficult for a defender to it's that short space of time.
But for a young kid, he's got his timing absolutely perfect. The ball's almost it's being played when he makes his movement. That's why a defender.
That's a proper goal. That's
your goal.
Well, it's a goal scorer because what he's doing,
absolutely.
what he's actually doing, and we'll come to those Champions League results of Juventus in a minute, but what he's doing is he's completely gambling on where the ball might go. Now, a lot of the time it doesn't go there, but when it does, you've got to tap in. We can have another look at it here. He just absolutely gambles on where it might go.
But he drags the defender out away from the goal first. His first movement, as you watch it here, he drags him away, goes in, goes out and goes back in straight away, and the defender is lost.
He scored a lot of goals in his career, provided he doesn't get anything dreadful happen to him.
How quick did he do that as well? It was a split second. But we've seen him finish with guile, with beautiful ones in the top corner as well as goals like that. The kid's got everything.
Can Monaco keep these kind of players? More crowds that they do in the French league?
To be honest, what is the right answer here? What is the right thing to do with a player like this? Do you keep him? Do you sell him?
Yeah.
I mean, probably he have agent, father, family who is going to say what is best for him, give him advice. In the end, it's about him to decide. But it probably is best to stay for another year, develop. He's going to play, if not every game, every other game. He's going to have time to shine even more.
I think that's key. If he goes anywhere, he's got to play. It's no good him being on the bench and coming from the bench and saying, well, he's 18, grooming. He must play wherever he stays or goes. He's got to play. He's got to play majority of the game.
It's like you look at Dembele. Dembele is a huge talent. Went to Dortmund, and you'd have to say, with respect, Dortmund's probably the second tier of top European clubs. So he gets football, and maybe that's a route this guy Mbappe might need to take, because if he goes to a Real Madrid, Barca, etc., he's really not going to play every game. He's going to be a squad player, and that's from playing every week and having the adulation and the focus that he's had this season. I think that will be disheartening.
Which other players will Monaco struggle to keep? Which other players will interest?
The left back, Mendy.
Yeah, we agree on that one. Mendy.
Bakayoko maybe.
I think you'd have to watch him a lot of times, Mendy, defensively as well. Going forward, he's outstanding. But if you want that in your team and you're not worried about defence, a la Man City, he's made for City.
And Bernardo Silva possibly. He's a lovely little footballer.
I think they have a difficulty keeping Bernardo, Fabinho, if you want, Bakayoko as well, because there comes a time when you spend 3 or 4 or 5 years in a team, then it comes time to change. So we'll see.
Okay, much more to discuss this evening with Juve going through to the final. And Higuain played a big part in that in the first leg. And Dani Alves played a big part in both legs. What about that?
Dani Alves, and surely a first goal here, and yes, on the rebound, Mandzukic. Great. Oh, what about that? Dani Alves on the volley. Great goal from the veteran Brazilian. Juventus will be playing in the Champions League final of 2017 in Cardiff.
So Juventus have booked their place in the Champions League final in Cardiff on June the 3rd. There are more European finals coming up on BT Sport, with the end of the rugby season upon us, and it's got a distinctly Anglo-French feel to it. On Friday, Gloucester plays Stade Francais in the European Challenge Cup final from Murrayfield. That starts from 7:30 on BT Sport 2. Claremont face Saracens in the Champions Cup final on Saturday. That starts from 4, also on BT Sport 2, also from Murrayfield. Let's get back to Turin, where we can hear from Gianluigi Buffon.
Eccoci Gigi, allora adesso è tutto vero, eh?
Gigi, it's come true.
Sì, tutto vero.
Yes, it's come true. It was incredibly tough, despite the fact that we won the first leg 2-0.
Dal 2-0 dell'andata, perché insomma,
If we'd taken to the pitch thinking that we were already through, I think we'd have found it really tough. It still was difficult, but we were ready to react to everything they threw at us, to battle, and our heads were in the right place. That's how we got through tonight.
È chiaro che poi li superi.
Diciamo che a Cardiff puzza sotto il naso, non ce ne
And now Cardiff awaits.
no?
Sì, no, Cardiff.
Yes, we've got to Cardiff, which was, well, I won't say our aim, because just getting to the final means nothing.
Perché ormai non conta più niente arrivare in finale.
Sei a questo secondo tentativo.
It's your second final in 3 years towards the end of your career. How do you feel about that?
Personalmente, cosa pensi di aver dato a tutto questo?
No, sono molto felice.
I'm really happy because I'm in good shape.
Ci arrivo bene.
I can't deny the fact that if we didn't have a great team, getting there again wouldn't have been possible. My teammates have been fantastic, and it's thanks to the whole team that we've got there. 2 years ago, everyone thought it would be my last final, but that isn't the case. I thought it might be as well. But you have to believe in your dreams until the very end and believe in what you do.
È stata l'ultima mia finale. Io chiaramente l'ho anche ipotizzato, ma non ne ero certo, perché alla fine bisogna, fino all'ultimo giorno, credere veramente nei sogni e credere in quello che si fa. Grazie.
I think our interpreter ran out of steam, but Buffon's certainly not running out of steam, as he's remarkable, and there'd be no more popular winner, would there, of the Champions League trophy than him?
No, if it was down to sentiment, he'd be walking away with a trophy, definitely. I mean, he's been a fantastic servant to the game, a great ambassador. People have to remember that when Juventus went down, he declared he was staying, came back up to the first division, and he's just someone who's been very loyal, and he's getting his just rewards, because you give loyalty in any walk of life, you get rewards back, and he's getting that at the end of his career with opportunities to win big trophies.
You've been face to face against Buffon many times, Dimitar. He's a great goalkeeper.
It's unbelievable, and when you face a keeper who is with this kind of name and reputation, a striker, it's a bit like intimidated.
Yeah.
Right? So you go there and like, if I shoot there, he's going to save it. You start thinking, you start doubting yourself. So it's always difficult to face this kind of keepers.
Another man going to the final, who's been to many finals, of course, with Barcelona, is Dani Alves, and they will. We've said it before. We'll say it again. They'll be kicking themselves at letting him wriggle away.
I think so. Yes, without a doubt, he's proving to Barcelona that he's got so much ability. This is in the first leg, where he ends up, look at the run and the energy, he pops the ball off, but he keeps going. Look, he sees the danger there, he knows the space is there. This is a little bit 50-50, a bit lucky. He's not had a look, but it's a Brazilian, and you expect it from Brazilians, and I think Higuain has backed that up really well with the back heel, but he was absolutely different class. And I think he's come on defensively. This is where he puts this on a plate. But playing for Juve as well, he's brought him on defensively. He's a better defender as well.
He had more touches than any other Juve player on the pitch.
Yeah, it's not surprising, because he's always an outlet. He's always, when there's problems for anyone on the ball, he's out there wide. And Glenn mentioned it before, the fullbacks are always the outlet. But this strike is just wonderful. You don't normally expect that from a right back, but Dani Alves, you don't class him as an out-and-out right back. He's a jack of all trades. He can do a lot, and he's obviously somebody that they all love and enjoy being around. He seems like he's got a great personality.
So, who will Juventus get in Cardiff? Cristiano Ronaldo's hat-trick in the first leg has put Real Madrid in with a great chance of progressing from their semi-final with Atletico, and after winning in Milan, their bid to make history and become the first team to retain the Champions League continues.